What was kind of the defining moment when you realized that these chemicals were causing harm? Was there like an aha moment when you're like, "Crap, I need to do something about this"?
I mean, as soon as I found out about them, it just seemed like a terrible thing to have something. We've all seen it with plastic. You can see the plastic stick around for decades, but then when you've got something that's invisible that's sticking around for just as long, I thought, yeah, that cannot be a good thing. But then I heard one. I remember hearing one fact or stat about how every drop of rainwater on Earth contains PFAS, and it would be considered unsafe to drink in some countries, including, in fact, the US drinking level standards for PFAS are lower than what it's found in rainwater in some places. And when I found that out, I yeah, I was completely dumbfounded.
Is that true? Like,
Yeah.
how's that
And
happen? Just from chemical plants, or it gets evaporated and then just comes back down? How's that work?
I think, I mean, it's used in so many different, they're used in so many different things, so many different products, industries, and they, at all kind of stages of their manufacture or use, they can get into the environment, even right down to when you throw out your non-stick pan at the end of its life, that it's still got PFAS on it that then end up in landfill and leach out into the water. And then obviously all the water's constantly being recycled. And yeah, I think it's one of those things that's not got a sort of singular point at which you can pinpoint the problem. It's just because they are so widespread and used in so many things, they just end up in the environment and in us. And yeah.
That's scary because do you think of, the little pictures and the videos of kids like looking up and having their tongues out, drinking rainwater, and I always assumed that that was the cleanest source of water. I never heard that before.
I know I always think that as well. It's, you imagine that, yeah, you couldn't get any fresher than drinking water from the sky, but yeah, when it's contaminated with man-made chemicals, it's quite scary.
Yeah. So, PFAS is a really ambiguous term. What does that mean? What do PFAS mean, and what are some household items that we use every day that these chemicals are in?
So it's an acronym. So it stands for per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. But it's just basically a massive family of chemicals. I think the most recent sort of number of members of this family is up in the region of sort of 10, 12,000. But they're a huge family of chemicals that are all very similar. And they are used in everything from, but they're really good at being water resistant and grease resistant. So they're used as waterproof, as a coating on waterproof clothing. They're used in Teflon pans, pizza boxes. They're used in firefighting foam, electronics. They honestly, the list is just massive. Stain resistant coatings on sofas and clothing, and it is a huge list of products.
Wow, and literally everything we use every single day.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's probably easier to ask what couldn't have PFAS in than what could have PFAS in.
Is it because they're cheap to make, or is it because they're really superior when it comes to their use?
I always say that as a chemist, they are like a spectacular invention. What an amazing chemical to find something that is completely unreactive to anything. They're heat resistant, flame resistant, water resistant. They don't get broken down by anything, which is amazing in one sense. And it's what makes them be able to be used in all those different products. But then that's also where their problems come in, because they can't be broken down. They end up sticking around forever in the environment.
Wow.